Wichita offset smoker cook. But this one's a little different because this is the 1,000 mile brisket. Probably the only video of such on YouTube. My sister and her family are big channel supporters. So tonight, my nephew and I are gonna go ahead and smoke a brisket. And then tomorrow morning, they're gonna get on a plane, fly the brisket to Florida, and share it with the rest of the family for dinner. I'm not sure if a brisket's ever been flown 1,000 miles from its destination to its eating location. Stick around to the end of this video, see if we can get it down there. Let's get at it. Important thing with the smoker is to make sure I have coals. If you don't have coals, you'll struggle with the cook the whole night. Nice pieces here. We're gonna give the fire about 30 minutes to get going, probably. During that same time, we'll go inside, we'll cut the brisket up, make sure it's trimmed up. I'll probably bring you along for a little bit of that. When we come back out, the coal should be ready. The grill should be about, hopefully 250, 300. Gotta make sure I open the smokestack. And I like to open up the hood too. Be a long cook, be a long night cook. Probably looking at, I don't remember how much the brisket actually weighed, but we're probably looking at least probably a 10-hour cook, more likely, maybe 9 if we're lucky. This brisket's going 1,000 miles. Okay, I'm not going to get and find details about how to trim a brisket. There's a lot of videos on the internet, on YouTube, showing you exactly how to do this. But essentially, I clean up the edges. I take off fat off the top and the bottom. That's the bottom line, how you do it. My sister's not a big fan of fat, so I'm trimming this kind of lean. I did put extra seasoning on. My brother-in-law seems to like that. Alright, so we got the brisket all prepped up. The initial burn's done. I'm going to add a couple sticks. You know my patented way. I usually like to warm these up on top, but not needed right now. I've got a couple sticks still burning here, which is a little bit of concern, but I think we'll be alright. So I'm going to put one on top of that one, on top of this one. It will take a little longer for them to get lit for the fact that they weren't warm, but it's not that it's going to slow it down. We're cooking with oak and hickory for the most part today. Pretty simple. No cherry. I like oak and the stronger woods with the brisket because it's a bigger cut of meat. When it comes to pork, I like cherry and apple, all the fruit woods. So we're just going to simply wait until the fire, the new logs actually start. Should be starting here soon. It just takes a little longer when they're cold. Open, give it some more air, give it some time. Now we're also warming up the chamber. You can see the temperature on the grill right now is what, about 100. You can see about 100 degrees. So it definitely needs to come up. But once I shut the lid on the firebox, all that heat begins to travel inside of here. Okay, so when we were trimming the brisket, it's pretty interesting. My nephew was helping me, and anyways, long story short was the brisket's about 12.2 pounds. We took off almost 5 pounds of fat off that brisket, and we had a pound of what I call fajita meat that I had to trim off that's still good meat. So I put the pound of fajita meat in the freezer. I've got 5 pounds of fat. I think 2.5 of it went in, maybe 3 pounds went in the trash can, the fluffy, nasty fat. And then the harder fat, the stuff that was easy to cut off the brisket, is actually gonna go in the smoker. I actually got it right over here. This right here. We're gonna make beef tallow out of that. We'll use that later in the cook, but it's more firm. You saw it in the previous video. It's firmer than the other stuff. You want that firm stuff. It'll melt down. It'll make what they call tallow. It's basically beef fat liquid. So we're gonna throw that on. I could throw that on right now actually. So I'm gonna throw that in the corner. I like to keep it up front here for the fact that it's close to the heat. As it starts to bubble and render down, sometimes I'll scoot to the back. I want to get as much smoke as possible. So heat, smoke over the top, it should give a really good flavor. It's instrumental in a good cook. So I'm a firm believer of adding beef tallow to your brisket, especially when you wrap them. It keeps them moist. And I think that's like one of the biggest secrets when doing brisket is make sure you put beef tallow in it. And you can make it yourself. You don't need to buy it. Taking a while for this to get going here. Okay, there she goes. That took a long time. So it kind of sucks when there's already pieces of wood in there and then you try to put it on top. It's just a lot more smoke. So you notice now the smoke kind of went away and now we're dealing with direct heat. So I'm going to shut down the firebox. You're now going to see some of the smoke will come out the back here, but eventually all that smoke will start traveling into here, into the chamber. And what I'm going to do to get the thing warmed up, I'm going to shut the lid. We're going to give it about maybe 5-10 minutes and then we're going to put that brisket on. So let's take a short break and we'll be back. Okay, unfortunately we're only about 225. It's one of my cardinal rules not to put the meat on until it gets about 250. I have a good coal base. I got a decent coal base, just not up to temp yet. It actually is going up 5 degrees since I last looked, so it's going to be at 250 here in a second. So we're going to go ahead and put this brisket on now. We got a tight timeline here. We got to make sure this thing's on a plane tomorrow by 10:55. So we got to have this thing off by about 8 o'clock at the latest. So let's go ahead and put this thing on. We'll go fat side down this time. We're going to put it right there, dead center. We're going to smush it together, make it fat. So I've got my point down here right now. I got my flat. You know what? I'm going to change this around actually, because I do like my flat towards the fire in the beginning. The reason why is because the smoke will come over the top, go over top the point and out. If you do it reverse, the point's higher than the flat, and the smoke will actually go up to the point and go up and over the flat. So we want the flat to get a lot of smoke, get the point some smoke, and then get out. And that's the best way of doing it right now. We're going to switch that. We'll keep a close eye on the temperature. I'll probably put the temperature probe in here in a couple hours. Right now it's not really important. So let's let this thing roll. I still have to fill up my water can, but other than that, we're going to let it roll. We'll check back in 2 or 3 hours and let you know where we're at. Okay, first check since we started at 8:30. It's 11:30, so we're 3 hours out. These brisket cooks are rough, I tell you, man. About every hour, 50 minutes to an hour, we're getting up and checking this wood here. So let's take a peek at it and see where we're at. We're around about 250 on the temperature. So there it is. Got some nice color back here in the back. It's definitely gotten firmer. You can tell. Now, I forgot to add the water. I'm going to do that right now. Got a bottle of water. I'm just going to add it back here in the back. And then I'm a little dried out right there. So what we're going to do is hit this up real good. Boy, that thing looks great. Spritz them with 50-50 water, vinegar. And you can also see the beef towel back here in the back. It's doing pretty good. It's hard to see. Let me get my flashlight on it. Look at that. You can see the beef tallow already forming inside there. You see it bubbling in there. So we'll let that go a little longer. Actually, I'll probably scoot that back a little bit. It's fine. Everything else looks good. The brisket looks phenomenal. Definitely firm. All right, we're gonna shut the lid. We're gonna add some more fire. We're gonna give it another hour. Come back out and check it. It's 3:30 in the morning. We're 7 hours in on this cook, and this cook is rough. It's rough getting up. I think the cook's going good. So we're gonna check it real quick. Probably gonna rotate it. We're gonna throw a thermometer in for the first time, and we're gonna stoke the fire. Let's just see what we get here. Okay, spark's looking really good. Pretty firmed up. So I think the first thing I want to do is I'm going to take some instant reads real quick. Let's see where we're at. About 152, and the point probably a little warmer here. Oh yeah, we're like 181 there. 152 in here. I bet we're a lot cooler back here. 165. So temperatures are actually pretty good. Definitely ready for a rotate. So of course this is going to be the hottest part right here. I need to get that rotated before it burns up too much. And then this is not as hot. It's obviously bigger and it's away from the fire. So that's easy to fix and balance out by just rotating it. You can see our, let me turn the flashlight on. The beef tallow in the back there is in good shape. See the beef tallow? That's what happens when you do the tallow. It just makes it all liquid. All you do is let it sit back there and do its thing. It's ready to be used. I'll probably save some of that for the next cook. We're surprising my brother-in-law and my nephew, because my other nephew's recording and helping me out with the cook. So it's a big surprise for them, not a big surprise for us, but that's where it's at right now. It's in good shape. Let me put the Inkbird probe in real quick. Hope the thing works. I think I'm we'll go dead center on this thing here. It looks like it's reading okay right now. It's reading 156, which probably is about right. So we'll keep our eyes on that. We got good water. I'm gonna give some wood to the fire, and we're going back to bed for another hour. So just keep in mind, we are checking in between. We're just doing updates with the video about every 3 hours. So I'm up every hour. The nephew, he skipped a couple hours in a row, so he's had 3 hours sleep in a row. So I'll make sure he finishes out strong though. All right, let's head to the firebox. Still with oak and hickory. Good little coal base. Not where you want it to be. Smash it down, spread it out. Yeah, I tell you, there doesn't look like there's a lot of coals there, but it is hot. Pretty much it. Same way I've always done it. I've been wide open on the hatch over here to the right. Of course, the smokestack's always wide open. And like I said, it's been running right around. He'll get up about 275. We come out of here after about an hour. It's about 225. Sometimes even 200. That's fine. Don't oversweat the little things, man. Let the grill do its thing, and don't worry about temperature spikes and all that. I think it's all garbage. So, all right, we'll check back maybe a couple hours or so. Okay, it's 6:30 in the morning. Long night. 8:30 start. 6:30 now. We'll be at 10 hours, and this little brisket is barely chugging along. It's at 165. So I like to get to 170 and wrap it. Keep in mind, this does have an appointment. It has to be on a plane by 10:55 today. So let's just take a quick look at this. She's still real tough. Yeah, I'm reading about 160 in there. Point's doing really good. Point's at 170, 77. It's weird because this thermometer, that's pretty tender there, 180. Yeah, the point's definitely farther along now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to rotate this thing, try to get that flat a little bit better. Without burning it, hopefully. Try that. So we're going to give it another, good one up another degree, so it is going up. We're going to give it another hour, and then we're going to yank it off, we're going to wrap it, and we're going to put it in the oven. Make sure that this thing is done on time. It's not probe tender. The biggest thing is, well, one, color, but two is, you know, when you probe the meat with the pin, it should be real like butter and stuff, and it's not like butter. It's still pretty tough. So let's give it some fire and give it an hour, and it's going to have to go in the oven to make this thing get done on time. And it should have plenty of smoke by then anyway. So the reason I put it in the oven, I can get a consistent, like say 300, and I don't have to worry about managing a fire, so I can get another hour of sleep. But we'll bring you along when I get ready to wrap this thing next hour, and we'll get in the oven, and we'll see if we can get this thing done. We have to leave here at 9. They got the 10:55 flight, and that brisket's going to be flying 1,000 miles south. 7 o'clock. Got that 9. We got to be at the airport at 9, so I got to get this thing off. Temperature's going up a lot. It's actually at 172 right now, so I'm feeling pretty good about this now all of a sudden. Got the oven on 300. The reason why I'm taking it off the grill is, one, I don't have to manage it anymore. But two is, once you wrap it, you no longer get the value of the smoke, which is the whole point of the smoker in the first place, because it's a smoker, and if the smoke can't get to the meat to smoke it, there's no reason to have it on the smoker. So what I do is I pull it off, put it in the oven. I don't waste my fuel, and that's pretty much it. We'll use the beef towel to get it wet before we wrap it. There she is. A long ways. I will give it a quick little spritz. Get her nice and moist. Got really good color. Let me use my patented hot hands. Oh, I should have brought a spatula. Ah, woo. Yes, sir. That's hot. The beef towel is going to be really, really hot, so we got to be careful here. So let me see if I can scoot that over. Yeah, someday I may get gloves or maybe a spatula out here. This one might be kind of tough, actually. I don't want to spill this stuff. You can see how much it rendered down. Now, what I'll probably end up doing is using a little bit of this on this one. Hopefully my sister won't be watching, because I don't think she's going to like all this fat poured over her meat. But she won't care. Oh. Yeah, there we go. Okay. So I'll use some of it on this brisket, and then I'll use it, I'll put some in a jar, put it in the refrigerator, and just use it however I want later on down the road. So now the brisket's at 173, so she's definitely coming up, and that's a good sign. So let's get it inside, and let's get it wrapped up, and let's get in the oven. Man, long night. Whew. All right, here's our brisket. Put it right there. There's our liquid tallow. And then the wrap, pretty simple. What I usually do is just wrap it like this one time. And then I fold the end. Make sure these are patted down. And then you just roll it. Try to keep it tight. You don't have to go too nuts on it. I mean, people say make it really, really tight. It doesn't matter. That's all you really need right there. It's pretty simple. Here's the rest of that beef tallow. You can see I got a ton of it from one brisket. Here we go, final resting spot. And then we'll plug her back in. All right, we're at 206, right at almost 8:30. So 12 hours, almost on the nose, which is longer than I thought it was gonna go. So we're gonna pull it out, we're gonna let it rest for a little bit, and then we're gonna wrap it, and we're gonna ship it. Keep in mind, this brisket's going 1,000 miles today, so hopefully it gets there safely. He's in good hands.
I wonder what the TSA agents are going to see when they see the brisket go through the X-ray scanner. If they confiscate, I'll be pissed.
If you guys get flagged by TSA, let me know. I'll come back and get the brisket.
Please exit and follow the signs to baggage claim A.
Brisket, 1,000 miles from the Home Pro Hero.
That's a wrap. If you like these types of videos, give it a like. Make sure you subscribe. Please share with family and friends. And like I always say, I appreciate you spending time with the Home Pro Hero.